My name is Will. God damn, you're listening to Doom Tomb. Lucifer's here to bring it real style for you.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Doom Tomb Podcast, the podcast for all things stoner, doom, and sludge. My name is Chris. I am your host. Today, we've got a long interview here, and we've got an interview with a band that was supposed to have their release show last night, and unfortunately, due to all the events that are going on, etc., they had to postpone it, but their new album is officially out. It is called Salvian Journey, and the band is Hovenweep. Let's get into the interview, and hey, if you didn't realize, we're at episode 100. This is fantastic. Thanks to everybody for listening, and let's get into the interview with the band Hovenweep. I heard that was going to be at, what was that thing called? Like Arcosanti?
Arcosanti, yeah.
Oh, no, what? I for some reason, I must be talking about it because it shows up on my social media now. Like, my phone's listening.
It's always listening, man.
Yeah, so, what is that exactly? I see, like, people using metal. Here.
It's like a hippie, like, artist commune up in, right outside of Cordis Lakes, Cordis Junction, where they make bells to support their life. They make bells and wind chimes, and yeah, they're awesome. Yeah, but it's an awesome community. They have a bunch of festivals that go on up there, and I don't know. It's really cool.
Well, while you have the mic, why don't you introduce yourself?
I'm Mike Hins, singer and bassist.
Guess it up there.
I'm Jesse Mitchell. I'm the organist.
I'm Mike 2, guitar.
And Wade, drums.
Otherwise known as the drummer.
The drummer.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right, so now fill me in on this. I'm assuming that the Sunn show was extremely loud, correct? Because it's all about, like, the vibration that you get.
Yeah.
And was it all your first time seeing it, or?
This is my first time seeing it, yeah.
So what did you get out of it?
So, okay, so it is insanely loud. And, you know, we brought, like, ear protection, and we're ready for it. We know what it's about. But their tone is so well honed that even at the decibels that they're playing at, it's not painful, it's not shrill, it's not ear piercing.
Right.
It's like extremely loud, but extremely pleasant at the same time. And then the physical component of the sound that they're creating with just the sheer volume of it, like you've seen their backline, right? It's like 10,
it's sick.
20 full stacks or something, all Model Ts across the top. And so part of the sound is what you're hearing, but the other part of the sound is the physical aspect. So it's shaking the venue, it's
right.
Vibrating the chair you're in, you know, it's like shaking your fucking organs in your body, like it's, you know, so that's like a huge part of the show is the physical aspect of the sound, which I think is probably unique to them.
Absolutely. And, you know, we just got through this 3-day fest. I got to talk about it.
Yeah, fuck yeah, please do. It was amazing.
Thank
Fucking
you.
Amazing. Yes.
Thank you. There were some people there, I don't know if you knew, that were deaf. And if you notice, there were some guys in the back, and they were hanging out, and they were against the wall. And my wife actually came by and said, like, these guys are kind of, no disrespect, kind of old to be at this kind of show. And this guy came up, and he was hardcore. He's seen everybody. You know, he saw the Sex Pistols when they first came over to U.S. and, you know, all that kind of stuff. He's had a hardcore background, and he says, yeah, and I don't barely have hearing, and my friend is deaf. He just leans against the wall to feel it. And I said, well, I haven't asked this yet, but, like, how does it feel? And he says, it feels awesome. It's like there's this massive low end, and he says, I think I got to go to more shows of this genre.
Hell yeah.
So I don't even know if we mentioned this, we're with the band Hovenweep. And, you know, this is kind of cool because I remember way back when I got a track from JR. And he says, you gotta check this out. You gotta see what these guys are about. And I'm like, sure. I right away I liked the way it started off slow and built to something that was just really organic. And especially with the one thing that I found that really drew me in was keyboards or organs, whatever. I think it's such a unique piece. And then I've seen your band for probably about a year and a half now, and I remember the first show I saw you at. Now you gotta no Timeout Lounge.
It's Timeout Lounge, yeah.
I saw a fantastic 48 seconds of it, and it just crushed. It was great.
I felt so bad about it, and I was like, oh no.
I was so mad because it's like any band that has something and it's like a first show, you got to see it and see what's up. And then you go from that, and then you go right over to opening up for fucking Elder, man. Like, seriously, guys? Really?
So, the weird thing about it, so what happened is that we're obviously starting off. We're all fucking perfectionists because we've been doing this for way too fucking long. But I didn't want. I had a feeling that we were gonna get the Elder show, and I didn't want that to be our first show.
Right.
So, Mike Hintz and I, we were kind of drunk at Casey Moore's. We saw that Worshipper was gonna come through town, and I said, "Fuck it, we're gonna do our first show there."
Right.
Even though Michael over here on guitar, he's just like, "Oh God, we can't do this. I'm freaking out."
Really?
I'm like the paranoid one. I'm like, we need to rehearse more. We need more practice. We need to do,
Right.
And we really have been doing this for, at least 20 years. Like, 14, 38. Okay, all right.
It's been a while.
25 years we've been playing. Like since it was in his 10 square foot bedroom with a bed in it and his giant ass drum kit and my half stack, and I'm like, this hunched over the bed. Yeah, playing. So we've been doing it a long time, but dude, freshman year. So, but yeah, I didn't know if we were like ready to play out, but they just went ahead and just booked the show without telling me. So
well, that's
what
you know
happened.
what, dude. Sometimes it's like you got to jump off the cliff and you'll figure it out on the way down, right?
I had been in the band 9 days at that point. I was in the process of recording you guys, and just happened to go, oh, hey, this song would sound good with organ, and I turn around, and you guys are all drooling on the floor going, oh, my God, please don't play organ in our band.
Like every song would sound good with organ.
And it does. It brings that extra element, and there's something about that. I mean, there's so many bands that I love in that come around that are whether here or touring, but I don't see a lot. Ruby the Hatchet is another band.
Yeah, I love Ruby.
That has some heavy organ play in it.
There's some bands in Norway. What is that one? It was like something Priest of Saturn or something like that.
Rings of Saturn?
No.
They're
Saturn
heavier.
Priest or something like that. They
Okay.
have that one organ I was telling you about, like the Newman.
Yeah, they've got an organ.
Yeah,
Electric
Electric
Moon. Yeah. I
Oh
love
my
it.
God, that's so weird. You say that. I was going to buy that last night. I had like I was saying before the mic, I might have had a few hits last night, and
Might have.
and let me. I don't remember if I've said this before. So you take vodka and mix it with the was it Smirnoff orange, like screwdriver, because it's got a high alcohol anyway. So pour more in. Oh, you just it's like an orange crush kind of drink. It's so good. And mixed with that, and of course, I'll go on Bandcamp. And what did I pick up? I ordered a Witch Ritual and Red Widow or Red Widows. And I was looking at that Electric Moon.
Electric Moon, dude.
Do you have? What would you suggest an album? Because I was going to get one of their live sets.
I wish I knew their catalog well enough to tell you which one to get, but I've left them on play a good number of times, and it's all pretty fucking good. They're really good. So
They really take you on a journey.
yeah, it's like extremely evocative, psychedelic, super cool stuff.
Yeah, I that's going to be the next. Like you have them for anybody that has anything in Bandcamp. You do like the wish list, and you just keep
Stardust
looking over and
Rituals.
looking over. What were you going to say?
Stardust Rituals.
Stardust
by Electric
Rituals.
Yeah, Stardust Rituals.
All right, I'll have to check that out and see if it's on Bandcamp and see what's up with that. So, let's start out with talking about how you guys met. How'd you all come together? I'm assuming both of you two or high school.
Yep. So we met freshman year of high school because my stupid ass thought that I was good enough at guitar to be in jazz ensemble. And I mean, I know power chords, but I didn't think I actually knew how to had to read music and all that.
Right.
So I'm sitting in the back, embarrassed as fuck. I'm like, these people know what they're doing, and I don't have a clue. Well, across the room, I see this guy to my left over here pulling out a Flying V guitar, and I'm just like, holy shit, I need to talk to that guy.
Right.
He's got long hair. He's playing a Flying V. Looks pretty rad. So somehow we started talking. He didn't know my name for 3 or 4 days. Okay. A few weeks. All I know is I'm going to hang out with this dude, and the next day or whatever, he was telling his friends, hey, some dude's going to hang out with us. I don't know his name. But regardless, that's going on a tangent. But no, we started talking music and everything. At the time, I was kind of into Nirvana, starting to get into Metallica, Pantera, and all that. More the new metal shit, Deftones, Korn. He was more into the Metallica stuff. So I'm like, fuck it, let's jam. And then we kind of tried doing this back and forth. And then we kind of lost touch for a minute as far as jamming. And then one summer, sophomore year, he calls me hey, I started a band. I need a drummer.
Okay.
So this was our first band in high school, Hatework, which we did that for a while. That was just death metal, technical, all that.
All right.
And
Tech death, sure.
Yeah. And then we...
in the vein of...
For me, probably the biggest influence at the time, and for the other guitar player in the band, Jesse, is still just another lifelong friend. But we were both super into this band called Carcass.
Yeah, of course.
Carcass,
Sure.
Okay. So yeah, they're fucking legends. But at the time, it's different now. I feel the internet has just exploded, and everybody that has a shared interest can find other people that have the same interests. So there's all these little networks of people that are into the same things. But back in the day, to meet somebody that was into Carcass was
rarefied air. Yeah.
Rare. Yeah. So at our high school, there was 5 metalheads or something like that, right? So
what do you look for? You look for the denim jacket, the long hair.
Yeah, long hair, the shirt, the shirts with dead people on it. You're that's my guy right there, right? So anyway, but yeah, we were super into Carcass. Was probably a main influence for us, and I learned to play guitar, like Barney was talking about. Learning old Metallica songs and stuff like that, and my growing up when I was real young, just getting into guitar, my dad was blasting AC/DC and classic rock, Led Zeppelin. He was super into Johnny Winter, so he would play these albums for me, and I would try to figure them out and then play along with him. So that was something that we did, and that's kind of how I learned to play guitar at a young age.
I hear that a lot where there's somebody that, I'm not saying this is yourself, but it's almost you want to do something for your dad.
Absolutely.
And it's let me show you this. So it's it shows your worth, and it shows how much you value him.
Yeah.
And I've heard that story quite a bit. And that's amazing that you could just say, hey Dad, I know you like that riff. Check this out, and you just got. And he must have been wide eyed and smiled from ear to ear.
Yeah, I mean, so the guitar, the first guitar I picked up was his guitar, and the Kramer, and he's fucking. My dad is just he always had a guitar and he loved guitars, but he's just fucking tone deaf, dude. He one time locked himself in the bedroom with a tuner and had everything dead silent, just trying to tune the guitar and couldn't tune it. So I picked it up and it was it made sense pretty quick, and I started figuring stuff out, and so it became this kind of way for us to hang out and share music and, and do something like that. So it's cool.
So what was the first song you learned all the way through?
Oh God, all the way through was
by yourself, and then I want to know what the both of you learned together.
I'll pass the mic around for that question. That's an interesting question. I think it was probably all the way through. Definitely not the first song I learned, but all the way through is probably "Heaven Beside You" by Alice in Chains.
Nice.
Yeah. First song I learned all the way through.
So, playing guitar, I learned a bunch of Nirvana songs, probably About a Girl. Like, that was like an easy one. I remember seeing a buddy of mine doing that at a talent show, and that's what kind of got me into music. I'm like, I don't know how he's doing that on stage, but I want to do that because I had like some shitty acoustic at the time.
Right.
And then he came over and like tuned it up, and I was like, holy shit, they can make nice sounds. So that's kind of what got me mesmerized with music and all. But then I remember him and I, as far as like playing songs together. I remember we were playing like Aneurysm by Nirvana and what was it? Enter Number 9 by Deftones, something like that. It was one of those songs, like, and I remember the next day we were at a pep rally or some shit, and then they were playing it on the stereo, and we were like, hey, we just play this.
Nice.
So, but
Now,
like,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, that's
Did you guys, because you met in high school, did you ever perform at like a talent show for the high school?
No, we never did that. Like, I think our first show was like our sophomore year playing at Old Boston's, like our Hatework band. Yeah.
Right.
But like, yeah, I remember. Yeah, it was Torso and some other bands. But like, I think our biggest like show was when we opened up for Morbid Angel and Nile. So that was kind of rad.
And that was at Mason Jar.
No shit.
Yeah, dude, Morbid Angel.
Wow.
Nile at
Which is
Mason
now
Jar.
the Rebel Lounge, for those that aren't aware.
I think like the coolest part was that we kind of met Carl, the guitar player in Nile, like
Right.
at a previous show, and this dude right here was saying like, dude, we love your band, we learned your songs, and then Carl literally handed him the guitar, like, here, show me.
No shit.
Yeah. So he like started playing one of the songs, and then I remember reading in a zine back in the day when we had zines,
Right.
that, you know, Carl got asked, you know, what was the coolest, you know, tour story that you came across? And it was like, I came across these fucking kids. I don't remember what goddamn town, but they knew our songs. Like, I gave them my guitar and they started playing and they knew my shit. Well, fast forward, whatever, 6 months later when they're playing with Morbid Angel, and there's Carl in the front row headbanging to our fucking music.
Wow.
Like,
Oh, that's amazing.
and we were 16, 17, man. Like, your hero is headbanging to your music.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't get any better than that. So,
It definitely doesn't get any better than that.
so that was pretty fucking rad. But yeah,
I love that. No, could you pass that to Jess? So, okay, so this might be different because I rarely talk to people that play keys. So, like, how is it change? How is it different for you? Like, what did you learn first? What was the first thing you learned? I mean, I can play a mean, like, what, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star or something.
So I actually, I'm actually a drummer. And
Okay.
So I started playing piano when I was 5, but then I picked up drums pretty quickly after that because I just had drums in the house and guitar quickly after that. Was in school band and everything, but like the first like rock song that I learned to play, I guess, you know, like on drums that I like really learned all the way through, was probably In Bloom by Nirvana.
Really?
Yeah,
So we
I
got a lot of Nirvana love in this place tonight.
I fell in love with Dave Grohl's drumming pretty fast, and just, you know, my dad listened to Led Zeppelin a lot when I was a kid, and so that definitely stuck with me, and like the big loud drums was always a thing for me.
Well, let me ask, for you and Wade. So is it because I mean I've seen Grohl play and he seems to bash the snot out of the drums. Mm-hmm. Was that what kind of turned you on, or was it just more of the grunge scene and they were like the top band?
I think it was more of just like I hadn't really heard any other drums like that,
Right.
except for my dad's Led Zeppelin records. You know, like that's where I'd heard that before, and so that was familiar to me. And I was like, oh, here's this band that I like. That's, you know, that's new and relevant, and they have those cool loud drums like the, you know, like my dad's stuff. Maybe he'll be into it. He wasn't, but you know, it's okay.
Nah, totally different head there.
Yeah.
But you know, like I remember hearing stories about the recordings. I don't remember whether it was Physical Graffiti or not, where John Bonham had the drums at the top of the stairs and they were mic'd at the bottom just to make sure they could get that particular dynamic of sound.
Yeah.
So it's really truly unique what they were doing. I hope some other bands are taking heed from that. Like I saw this video a while ago of Randy Blythe from Lamb of God, and I don't know if you ever saw this, where he ran around the block. And he ran up the stairs and then did the vocal. And it was breathy, and it was every ounce of energy he had. And that's what made the vocal so unique. Like, you can't get that just by okay, ready, go.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a really cool moment. I hope that more bands can take that and do something like really, just really outside the box with it.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot to be said for experimental recording techniques and
Absolutely.
trying new things and seeing what works in the studio.
Here's the master record. So
I engineered the record, and
I swear we're gonna get to that because it's been in. I messaged Wade this morning. I was like, the drummer, by the way.
yes, the drummer. Yes.
I messaged him. I said, dude, every day, to and from work, I'm listening to it. To and from work, picking a little nuance, picking something else that I really dig on it, and it always makes something. Again, it's another unique thing where I see a band formulate the songs over the course of a year live. And then I finally get to hear the recording, and I'm just like, this recording, I'm telling you, dynamite job, brother. It is like, it sounds fucking incredible.
Thank you.
And some of the little things that you added into it, and even like end of the song where the keyboards just kind of trail up. Fucking love that, man. I think and I think everybody is going to be so impressed when they get to see this and hear it.
That's cool.
Now,
man.
can you
That's cool
could you be able to pass the microphone?
Over to Mike.
Mic to mic.
So okay. So, what's a little bit on your story? Like,
I started playing saxophone in 4th grade.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Were you?
Yeah,
was this
absolutely.
like? Was this from like a Richie Cunningham kind of adoring?
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, I just played school band, and then I went into marching band, and then 14, I was living in Nevada,
right?
And in a little shithole town called Pahrump, and started. I picked up a guitar. And started playing in like a broke down RV with a couple friends, Nirvana, of course.
Right.
So
again, Nirvana. There we go.
We're all Nirvana, which we never all spoke about this before.
Never talked about
No.
How is that possible?
I don't know shit. Yeah, it works. Well, it's to stoner rock, desert rock.
Yeah, it fits.
That's the new grunge, right?
I'm gonna go with
It's
that.
the new black. So yeah, just didn't even really sing. My whole family sings, but I never sang in a band up until our last band.
Okay.
Me and Mike,
Okay.
the guitarist.
Yes, not the drummer. Yeah.
He actually played fiddle and banjo in our last band. We were a folk band.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
He went from metal. I was in metal bands. We went to a folk band. Now we're back to rock.
Was it like traditional folk? Was it like more Americana or
like a rocky Americana kind of folk? Yeah.
My grandpa was a bluegrass guy.
Really?
Yeah, and my grandpa was a bluegrass guy. That's actually my earliest musical memory. I was 5. I went to Illinois, and my grandpa was playing in his bluegrass band, and it was really cool. And then, so he played fiddle, and there was a guitar player, and he goes behind the guitar player. And this is like kind of hard to describe for people that are listening, but he goes behind the guitar player and like reaches around the guitar player and he takes over the strumming on the guitar, and then the guitar player grabs the bow and takes over the bowing on the fiddle, but they still have they're doing.
That's badass.
I was 5 and it blew my mind.
Right.
And that's how I learned what bluegrass was. That's how I learned how cool my grandpa was. And I ended up inheriting his instruments when he passed. And I made an effort to learn them. Banjo, I started with banjo.
Yeah.
Ended up playing more fiddle with Mike, but I was playing banjo, and I wanted to kind of maybe jam with some guys or something like that. So I jump on Craigslist and answer an ad, for a banjo player.
We all knew each other from high school.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, you did?
And it's
okay.
it's fucking Mike, who I've known. The ad is from Mike.
So I moved away. I moved away from North Phoenix, where I grew up. I was like 24 when I moved down to Tempe, and I was sick of not being in a band. It's been like a year, and I wanted to start another band. So I put out an ad on Craigslist as I kind of wanted to do a folky thing, and who responds? But I see, what was it? It was Gabriel's Path, I think.
Yeah,
was
like
the email address.
One of our black metal bands, from back in the day.
So I'm like, no shit, are you kidding me? From North Phoenix down to Tempe, completely different genre. Guys I grew up with and party with every day. And that's how we all reconnected again, and we've been playing music ever since.
Yeah.
So
super cool.
So do you play the banjo still?
Every now and again, it's fiddle and banjo. You know, something I just kind of come back to. But it's like really for me, it's just kind of like if I'm like chilling in the studio or in the living room, just kind of hanging out. It's not something I really like perform or play with anybody.
Do you ever listen to any current bluegrass?
Yeah.
What do you think of Steve Martin as a banjo player?
He's fucking phenomenal. That dude's phenomenal all around. That guy's incredible talent. Super good player. One that I was listening to recently, he's actually been around for a while, but he's a younger player called Billy Strings.
Okay.
Definitely anybody that's I know we're kind of talking. We're on the Doom Tomb podcast, but if anybody's into
this is all about music.
Bluegrass,
it's just you got to know your roots.
Yeah,
and I'm waiting for Hovenweep to bring in a little banjo or a little fiddle.
So
something.
You know,
why not? I mean, dude, it's like what is
I'm not opposed to it.
On Betty from Helmet. Sam Hell, wasn't that a banjo?
I believe so. Actually, Weed Eater has a banjo track as well.
I mean,
you know, so
and they're heavy as fuck. So like, it all works. So
you know what's really funny is I had a guy at one of our shows, and he comes to our shows now, and you know he's kind of become like a friend to us. Super cool dude named Matt, and he told me from watching me play. He told me that he could tell I had bluegrass in me. I was like, what the
really?
It like kind of blew my mind, yeah.
Interesting.
But there's like a real relationship with the pentatonic riffs, and they're both kind of rooted in blues in a way, and there's absolutely a relationship there. So
okay, so basically, if you do some banjo, maybe you can get behind Jesse, put the banjo around him. He'll start picking. You take not both.
It's just one.
Just one hand for the keys. Yeah. And I think that would be a solid solo. I'd be excited
ode to my
see
grandpa.
That. Great. What do you think? I'm down. I'm totally down. Yeah.
So okay, so like I said, you started off. You had the show at Time Out, and then you played with Elder. You played with so many other different bands like Phil Anselmo and the Illegals.
That was fucking rad.
Like and okay,
it was one of the first few shows that were actually playing Pantera.
Yeah.
I think there was a rumor of the couple shows previous that they'd played Pantera.
There was a rumor they were doing the Viper Room the night before, and then I think it went over so well. And they were like, "Fuck it, we're gonna play Pantera songs," and obviously we were super stoked. Like, I mean, Pantera, like all of us, we grew up on that shit. I remember seeing,
I have seen them way too many times.
Yeah. But getting to meet them and then. Not only that, meet him. Like I think we did a signing thing at one point, but fucking opening up for them, like holy shit! And like
I get to hug him, and he lost a bunch of weight, and I hugged him too hard. Oh shit, man! I'm too skinny for that.
But it's. I mean, you've heard our band, and you heard them like Phil Anselmo and the Illegals, and like they're fucking death metal, and we're not.
You know what?
That was
like
intimidating.
that. Yeah, Child Bite. I like that. I like a mixed bill, you know?
I mean, we love it too. I mean, in our experience, like Michael and I, like we've been in so many fucking bands, and anytime we've had like a diverse group of bands, those were always the best shows. Like punk bands, death metal, thrash, like whatever, all over the place. And everybody's just so like, dude, you're awesome at what you do. You're awesome at what you do. Like, it's always that camaraderie. Like, everyone's really supportive. But like, playing like a national act like that is just really intimidating, especially like for people that are really into death metal. Like, you know, you feel like, are we gonna get booed off stage, that kind of shit. So it was definitely a moment where I'm like, fuck. Yeah.
Well, you got to earn your stripes.
Exactly.
And the thing is, you know, I mean, I was right there. I saw it. And I didn't see one person. I didn't hear one person saying, ugh, you know. Everybody was into it. They were, you know, it's a different headbang, admittedly.
Yeah,
it's slower.
It's groovy, is that?
But, you know, Phil's no stranger to, you know, the magic herbs there.
Absolutely.
But, you know, it's like, I see this every once in a while, and I think that collectively, the people that come out to obviously our shows, because we have the best fans, but
fuck yeah, we do.
But people are coming out to shows now. It's a different mentality. Yeah. I think people are ready for more diversity.
Absolutely.
You know,
there's no longer that judgment like it was back in the day. I mean, I remember when Michael and I were doing the Hatework project, and it was all strictly death metal. There was like you had to be brutal enough and all that stuff. So like we always felt like we had to like one up anything. Like absolutely.
Always cutthroat.
You mean people were?
Yeah, it seemed like just back in the day, different genres. I don't know if it was mainly metal or what, but it seemed like everybody, if somebody else did good, oh fuck those guys.
Yeah, a little backbiting.
And now, I mean, the Outer Space Sorcery was the best.
And you know what?
You know?
We were saying that Sunday was a year ago.
Yes, dude, yeah.
It was a year to the day.
Saturday,
Where
like 4 out of the 5 bands played on the same night.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we played Outer Space Sorcery. All the bands, they all jumped on stage the second the band was done. They were offloaded off stage within like 40 seconds.
Everybody
It
was helping
crazy.
each
Yeah,
other.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it just shows that everybody wants everybody to do something good. Everybody's brothers in this community. It feels great.
Well, look how it's panning out too. A year later, you know, it's not 5 bands or 6 bands. It's fucking how many bands was 23 bands.
Yep.
At Planet Mammoth.
Everybody seemed like a brother.
3
throughout the
fucking days,
entire
and it was
weekend. Yeah.
it was positive vibes the whole
brother
way.
and sisters. There were ladies. There were sisters. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So the scene has grown.
Well, you know, the one thing that I had to explain for the past 4 days because I took Monday off. I had to, but all of my clients, the first thing they didn't care if they were in pain, they didn't care about anything else. They're like, "How'd it go?" Probably because I've been talking their ear off about it for a while, and I was telling them trials, tribulations, where we had accomplished, and etc. And I said, you know, the one major thing that caught me. There was no band bullshit. Not one band argued with anything. And that is a beautiful thing. And the second was no fan bullshit. Like, everybody was so unbelievably cool. And I don't know, maybe it's just like, maybe I'm older and I don't care as much. Maybe I didn't see it. I don't know. But I didn't see any drama. And well, quite honestly, you know, it's like Kyle and myself, like, we didn't want to put up with that drama anyway. But we didn't hear a single thing. Everything, if there was a minute detail, it got squashed in a millisecond. And I love that about this scene.
Nobody heard anything on our end.
It was all hugs, dude.
Yeah, we had a great time. I mean, anytime we walked in, you know, there was always people supporting there. You know, like maybe not everybody was out in the audience, you know, watching, but
right.
Everybody was just there for a good time. And that's what I loved about it. Is like nobody was there to judge or anything. Like you said, there was no bullshit, none of that, no band drama, none of that. Like everybody's like, we're here for an amazing fucking festival. Which, by the way, dude, I'm so fucking proud for you to actually like pull this together. Like all of us are. Like,
Well, thank you.
I know, like,
Oh, jeez, no.
No, you are. Listen. Like I remember back in the day when we had this not stupid idea, but you know, this crazy idea of putting a festival here, and we wanted you to do it. And then it was kind of like, but then like for you to actually like, fuck this, I'm gonna make it happen,
Right.
dude. That's amazing, and like I cannot be more proud of you doing this.
Well, thank you, and I'll tell you, as much as anybody else, like Kyle and I, we had no idea what to do. Like, what do I do? Like, well, first off, we
What the fuck do you do? I'm gonna put on a festival. Where do you start?
Yeah, where do you start? And like, well, I guess you got to start with the bands. I know everybody local who I want, and I honestly felt terrible for some people that I couldn't have on. So we did have what we would consider a Doom week, where it was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So we had people on those shows as well, but I wanted them to be on ours. And, you know, I know some people, like the guys in Sunn O, I would love to have on the next one.
Those guys are so freaking rad. Yeah.
Surf Through Death.
Love Surf Through
Their
Death.
new record is killer.
Oh, I bought that. I was there at their release show, and they are like really amazing. It reminds me of like an old grungy sound, and then I don't know if anybody's heard Death of the Cool. The only reason I know that band is because they had this one fucking song on like what was that band fucking video game? Rock Band. Yeah, so they had on Rock Band like one fucking song, and like there's this fucking bass line in their song that totally reminded me of Surf Through Death, of their hit song or whatever, their most popular song on Spotify. And I remember hearing it, I'm like, dude, this totally reminds me of that. But they just have a really cool grunge sound. Like, I really dug everything that they did. And then Stonewitch was playing that night too, and I got to hear some new material from them, and that was they're up to a lot of good things, so I'm digging it.
Yeah, they what do they have on? I heard them play Savage, and yeah, and then there's another track that they're playing. I don't know if they have a technical name for it. By the way, on the way over, Ian was saying like, "Oh, what are you doing tonight?" And he says, "Oh, please be sure to tell the Hovenweep guys." I said, "Hey, I think he's putting up a Planet Mammoth video tonight or tomorrow. He's the guy that did all the video stuff." So. Huge shout out to him, and
such a cool guy.
And
We love him, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
We love Stone Witch, man.
Stone Witch. I mean, it's a full circle. I mean,
Yeah.
he told you check out the band. And,
Absolutely.
And JR gave me some new ink recently.
Really? What'd you get?
I don't know if you saw it.
All right, hold on. Let's take a look. Hold on. Let's get the. Ooh.
It's actually a cover up.
So hold on. Let me get the light on here. Let me check this out.
It's actually a cover up.
Very nice. So yeah, I like that little outer space.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, outer space sorcery showcase. That's what I was thinking of.
It's a dead astronaut, pretty
Yeah.
much. Yeah, floating through space. It's
Now
great. Yeah.
that's the question.
I just
All right.
let him do what he wants to do. I mean, JR, you do you. Cover this thing up. And he sent me one thing. I said, do it. It's great. So
Okay.
yeah, he's a talented guy.
First question. What was it before?
It was a City of Phoenix symbol.
Oh really?
Yeah.
How exciting.
Born and raised here. So
So does it have like a little 48 on it or something?
I should have. Yeah, I should have. But no, I was 18. I was dating a esthetician who worked in a shop that had a permanent cosmetic artist in there.
Fair enough.
And for overtime, they would get services. So she had free tattoos. I got a free tattoo when I was drunk.
How
when I
can?
was 18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like perfect timing.
Yeah.
So
Sounded like a good idea at the time.
okay. I'll throw this out to you since you've got the freshest tattoo. Unless somebody else get another tattoo recently.
He did.
What'd you get, Wade?
I should see this.
Oh my gosh, where's this? What are you doing? What's happening here?
Oh, look at
There's-
that. The breakaway shirt.
Oh, pie. Oh, the pipes.
I've been meaning to.
Oh, you got yeah.
Yep. So I've been meaning to get a drum tattoo.
Right.
It's like a little skeleton playing drums. And the artist that Ben Irving went from Tucson at Idle Hands Tattoo, that guy is amazing. But he added a little H on the bass drum for our logo, just like a little nod to our band. And
Nice.
I said, why not? Because I love this band and fuck it.
That looks awesome. And who did that again? The guy from Tucson?
Ben Irving from Idle Hands Tattoo.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Yeah, I know.
What, Doom Goon. Doom Goon on Instagram.
I know him well. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know what I'm going to get next because I only have one.
Well, I mean,
And-
the H looks really cool.
It it does. I got to admit, it looks pretty tasty. I'm going between like a trash polka design, like a Cthulhu. Is that how you pronounce it? Yeah. My wife thinks that she might be scared to look at my arm after that. I don't know. And I know the only other thing I can think of because if this whole thing took a shit, I wasn't. But now I'm like. Maybe it's some kind of mammoth thing.
Oh my god!
I don't know. It's
now you have to make it happen every year. You got an ink.
Yeah,
it's
but-
immortalized.
Yeah,
so.
exactly.
Beginning, dude.
I know. It's I don't know.
We're looking forward to next
We're gonna say.
Seymour tattoo? Come on.
Ooh. Well, I don't know. You know, it's like I of course that's awesome. I like what JR did for the badges as well.
Yeah, they were awesome, dude. Yeah.
And I'll honestly I'm not a musician, so I won't put the orange stuff on there, but I'll figure something out.
You can see we have 3 orange heads here, so
You
we
do.
fucking loved it. Yeah, it's
And
great.
okay.
Yeah.
Perfect
Yeah, dude.
timing. What's the matter?
And I don't want you to die here.
But what am I doing wrong?
Keep on seeing this.
Is it falling?
Nah,
It's moving around. Quite
it's
a bit.
fine.
Unplug it right over your head.
Yeah, it's fine.
There we go.
There we are.
There we go.
That's the one of the guitars there.
It's a baritone. It's heavy.
It's not a
Immortalized for the breaking. Yes.
yeah. Have you heard a loud kabong or something like that? Thank you. I appreciate that, sir. And I get to lean against the wall. This is even better.
There you go.
Spread the
Fuck
legs
yeah.
out because we're all on the floor. Well, except for Jesse because he's a gentleman.
He's smart.
And yeah, he's smart and that's all right.
Oh,
no,
shit.
you know what? Here's the
Stooping
thing.
to our level.
Why have your legs go to sleep like ours?
Right, idiots. Yeah.
So okay, while you were talking about it, let's go around. Let's talk a little bit about gear because I
Sure.
know, of course, I'm assuming you're a gearhead.
Fuck
Because
yeah, I'm a
from
gearhead,
what I
dude.
hear,
Yeah.
And then Wade, it's right behind you, dude. I've looked at that, and that is stunning. A stunning kit. So if we can just go around the horn. So
Sure.
What gear are you using?
Right now, I'm using the orange Thunderverb 200.
Okay.
So that's like the Big Daddy orange amp. But yes, yeah, we started. So before, okay, so I know we're talking about gear right now. I'm gonna stay on gear, but
We can go around the horn.
yeah, we do the tangents and shit. But before Jesse joined the band, we were like kind of like a 3-piece kind of sludgier sounding kind of thing.
Okay.
And so I've got the two Sunn Beta 402 cabs. They are the cool versions with the oval ports, which means they are 200 watts,
Right.
as opposed to the later versions that were only 100 watts.
Boo.
But yeah, boo, right?
Yeah, right.
200 is bigger than 100. So
That's what I think. Yeah.
it's almost double, right? I mean, I'm no mathematician, but
It's around there.
but I have, if you look up there, I've got two Sunn heads up there, a Sunn Coliseum 880 and the Sunn Coliseum Slave that goes with it. So I use those two heads with these two cabs. It was loud as fuck, ugly as hell. But when Jesse joined the band, and that was actually one of the things that made this EP take a little bit longer for the better. And now that we're like finally here, I'm so fucking glad we did it. But we started out with a kind of certain sound, and if you've ever played in a band, you know those first couple songs you play, you're kind of trying to find your sound, and yeah, please, you're kind of learning what the band is and what it sounds like. And we kind of had it figured out to some degree, and then we met this guy here, and changed the sound of the band for better, like overnight, like virtually overnight.
Right.
And so, yeah, dude, and not only that, but like a super fast friend, and like, so I'm 37 years old, and I don't know how many like lifelong friends you meet at this point, or for most people, but it was super cool meeting somebody that just like fit into the fold so quickly, as a friend and musically, and it kind of like changed the band in a big way.
Absolutely.
So,
I've heard that talking with you guys a couple times. It's like you didn't find what you needed right away. It took a couple years, and I've talked to other bands. There was a band that played last weekend, and I feel bad. The main guy is fantastic. My wife was like, she was floored by the performance that he had, Hudu Akil.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah.
Said that like, who is this guy? I mean, he's like, I can't believe the quote unquote Texas swagger that he had, and how he owns this fucking stage.
Dude's a monster
and everything. And I was like, and he has great people, but they're not here. Yeah. He needs people here. And that is probably one of the toughest things. And I was like, he's still a baby, and relatively, I could be his dad, for Christ's sake. But, it's like, it'll happen in time. Hopefully, it's weird. When I hear you talk about Jesse, I'm thinking like a game of Tetris or a game of Connect 4.
Yes.
Like, it's just like,
yeah,
boom.
the puzzle piece that we didn't know we needed.
Yeah.
We thought the puzzle was done, and then boop, that fourth little piece,
bam, and it
just
falls
brought it
right
together.
in.
Yeah, fuck yeah. So we have kind of changed our gear a little bit. Talking about gear, Hudu Akil, by the way, he plays a Gibson SGS3, which is a fucking killer guitar. I have one. It's an SG based on a Black Beauty, and it was amazing. And I saw him playing it, and I was impressed. I love it. Yeah, that was what the guitar I started this band with. Yeah. But yeah, so I played through the Sunn Coliseum gear. I've got a pretty sizable pedal board that I jokingly refer to as the school bus.
Yeah, you can't gloss over that pedal board.
I'm not gonna really get into everything on there, but I'll say that the main ingredients are MIDI controlled reverb and delay through a loop switcher. Disaster Area Designs loop switcher, which I highly recommend if you're looking for a loop switcher. It's fucking awesome. So that I don't have to screw with my delay timing so much. And the loop switcher allows me to change multiple pedals with one press, so I'm not tap dancing around. I can kind of make patches, right? So I can have 3 or 4 pedals go off and 2 come on with one button press. And the main dirt on the board is octave fuzz, always octave fuzz.
Right.
I'm an octave fuzz nut. I have a whole arsenal of octave fuzz pedals. So it may not always be the same one, but octave fuzz is what I'm into. So that's pretty much my and baritone guitars.
Is that easier for you to just hit? I mean, it sounds like it's easier just to hit one pedal, but like,
Fuck yeah, it's easier.
Were any of you at Nebula? recently?
I couldn't make that one. Yeah, I couldn't make it. We were.
Watching him play. It's like a dance.
Yeah.
It's like he's tap dancing the whole time and moving pedals around. And to me, it's like it's a part of the science.
Totally.
It's part of the magic.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming it has to be easier, just like ding, one pedal.
I'm not that coordinated. Yeah, I prefer one button. You know, I like to drink when I play. Press one button. I'm having a good time. I'm not tap dancing around. I'm not hitting the wrong pedals, which I have done before. You know, so but for me, it kind of, keep it simple, stupid. Get a loop switcher.
And are you looking forward to getting anything in the future?
Well, I have a couple things that haven't made it onto the board yet. I have two Sunn Life pedals, the band Sunn, once again, which I was super excited about this pedal, the Sunn Life pedal, for two reasons. One, it's an octave fuzz, which is not super common. You know, there's a good number of them out there, but most fuzz pedals are not built on the octave circuit. And two, the Sunn Life pedal has an octave blend knob on it, which to me is the holy grail of octave fuzz. So you can dial in how much octave you want, as a ratio to your fuzz. So a lot of octave fuzz pedals, it's either off or on. I've got the Wampler. What the fuck is it called? Can't even think of it. It's the Wampler's latest octave fuzz pedal. That's what's on my board right now. And the octave is either on or off with no adjustment. The Sunn Life pedal. Fuzzstration, thank you. Yes, the Wampler Fuzzstration, which is either on or off. It's got a great tone, so I'm still using it. It has built-in EQ, which is another thing. If you can get a fuzz pedal with built-in EQ and an octave blend, I mean, to me, that's the perfect pedal. So Sunn Life pedal, I have two of them. It's going to go on my board very soon here before the show coming up. So,
do you think that you're going to go into a battle with either Tanner from Source or Jonathan Portnoy for most pedals on a stage?
So I mean, my board could probably go, one-on-one versus their boards, but as a band, Source, they have more pedals, I think, than most guitar stores. So I would bow out of that fight.
It's like more pedals in a bike race.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. They're phenomenal and they do awesome things with it. But
and I don't know if you know. Do you know that's Jonathan's other business? Jonathan makes pedal boards.
Oh yeah. I've heard that.
That is some. I can't wait. I got to get an interview with him to see everything that he does, because I've heard some of the cabinets that he's made.
Yeah,
they're pretty fucking incredible. I know the guys in Sonoran use them.
Are they? What are they called? Do you know?
Moon Custom.
Moon Custom. Okay.
Yeah, Moon Custom Cabinetry.
Yeah, and Sonoran I've only caught them one time, and that was at I was at Source's release show. Yeah. Their latest release.
Yeah, that was the first show that they did. I know they've done a few more. The last time I saw them, no, they were playing with Year of the Cobra. Oh, that's right. And
that's right.
Let me tell you something. A lot heavier this time.
Really?
They've kind of morphed their sound a little bit. And, I was thinking, as I saw them the first time, I'm like, King Buffalo, one of my favorites. Little Pink Floyd mixed in for some Stark elements or whatever.
Absolutely.
And then I heard what they had this time, a lot louder and a lot heavier this time. So I'm really looking forward to seeing, again, how does a band progress? For those, I've talked with Grail before, and they had a song that they would put at the end that was like 4 or 5 minute song. I think they recorded it at 20 minutes. It's just the progression, and I've heard them. It's like you kind of look at the clock, and it's 15 after, or whatever, and they sort of played for 15 minutes. They're like, all right, we got one more song. I'm like, oh, they're cutting it short. Well, no, because the next song is like 20 minutes.
Sure.
So, like Earthless.
Yes. Yeah.
Like the first time I saw Earthless, it was like, they had about 35 minutes into their set, and they're like, thank you very much. We have one song left, and good night. I'm like, okay. And it was like a 35-minute song.
Sure.
So I'm like, fair enough. And mine was blown. If you've never seen Earthless, they crush.
I actually have not seen them live. I hope to catch them very soon.
Well, I heard Isaiah is going on tour now with Black Crowes.
Okay.
He's going to be the other guitarist. So if you could be kind enough to pass the mic over to the man with the incredibly handsome-looking drum set.
Well, before I get to that, so I started off on a, what was it, Mapix Mars Pro? Mapix Mars Pro. I bought, I mean, cheap set, amazing sound. You know,
Right.
very affordable. It sounds amazing. This dude next to me got me an awesome deal on it, so
Right.
not mad about it. I was a Sabian guy at the time, and then we recorded REB. And Jesse over here, I'm going to put him on a spot again, made me play a 21-inch Meinl Crash.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, he didn't make me
I gently
nudge.
suggested. I suggested that
There was some coercion.
we should try this. Let's see how this sounds recorded. Let's just try it.
Okay.
And well, I mean,
So, son of a bitch. At that point, I'd already invested a lot of money in my cymbals, like everything. And then I was like, fuck me, this sounds amazing. So then I had to switch everything.
Right.
So,
Thanks, Jess.
yep,
Appreciate
pretty
it.
much. So switched all over to Meinl, and I'm actually upgrading my crashes to rides because they're not cutting through my giant 23-inch ride.
Aha.
So I'm going to have rides for crashes now. But I upgraded to this lovely Ludwig Classic Maple.
yeah, it's classic maple.
26-inch bass drum, 14,
Nice.
16, 18. Super loud, super obnoxious, super purple sparkle because
Mm-hmm.
I do like my purple.
Who doesn't? It's a royal color,
Right?
by the way.
Right? Exactly. But yeah, I found this beauty. These guys, well, Jesse and Michael found it, and yeah, I had to buy it. The wife wasn't too happy about it. Like, do you really need it? I'm like, well, I don't need it, but I need it.
Yes. For my sanity, I need it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So
10 rides and everything else he plays are bass drums.
pretty much.
Have you seen? There was a band that came through. I just saw that they're going to be a Yucca again. The band Pound.
Yes, with the freaking 30-inch bass drum and a
Yeah.
24-inch bass drum, and the dude switches between two kits technically.
Well,
Like
here's a,
two snares, two kick drums, and it's just like he does this weird swivel thing. Now I'm playing this. Now I'm playing this, and it's like the most. It's super amazing to watch the transition between the two.
Yeah.
Like, then I saw his rug that he had, and he had like a freaking 2x4 hammered into the rug because I'm sure that bass drum. I remember doing that back in the day. I had a railroad tie. We played a house party at one point, and somebody brought in a railroad tie to put in front of my bass drum because it kept sliding. We were playing on a patio. There was no rug, no anything.
Okay.
Do you remember that? So I know the struggle. The struggle is real and all that. But I know I saw videos of that guy, and I was super impressed. Unfortunately, I did miss him when they were at Timeout Lounge, but I know they're coming back, and
Yucca.
I'm not fucking missing that.
we'll go.
Absolutely. Fucking A.
Just a quick question,
Yes.
because I saw this thing online. I wanted to take a picture of it just because I get interested in that when I see people have the carpet and they have the piece of wood in front or what have you, or maybe you know because you went to NAMM, right? There is something that it's a strap and it connects to your bass drum and connects to your stool.
Oh, I saw that.
Is
Yep.
that any good?
I haven't tried it myself. I mean,
curious.
I'm using the spikes now. Like, I mean, having the jam pad here that has, there's carpet and everything, so there's not a lot of sliding.
Right.
And most of the venues that we're playing, there's always a carpet, so I don't really have to worry about that. But
See that at NAMM.
I saw it like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But they've created more like the kick. There's like some other ones where it's like spikes into where like a bigger like a 4x4 area where you
Right.
can put in the spikes into that. But I haven't had any issues with that. But if we were playing like on a concrete, I could definitely see having issues. So that could possibly help. But I don't know. I feel like I'd be getting my stool getting drugged from underneath me. Doing that, So I don't want to fall or anything like that. But
I saw something really unique. There was a one-man band. His name is, he goes by Crawl. And, yeah, have you seen it? Yeah.
I have not seen it, but I saw that crazy drum set with like the spine or some shit.
Yeah,
on it.
and he's got like basically a guitar on top.
That's right. That's what it is. Yeah.
But the one thing that you rarely, if ever, see is how he puts his drums together. He's got this 3-piece thing of wood, and he just and throws it on the floor. He's got holes for every bit of his drums, it just goes right in. And like we were at,
Dude, that's so smart.
I'm not sure the name of the place, but we were over at one of the warehouse shows.
Yeah.
And everything just fit in perfectly. And I was like, this guy's a
awesome.
fucking genius.
Yeah, I would never thought of that.
But yeah, next time Crawl's around, please.
Isn't he on hiatus right now or something?
He just went off.
Yeah.
He's ready. He's ready for new material. Yeah, he took the end of the year off, and then now he's ready to get back into it. And that's another guy I got to get for an interview. So, is there anything else you're going to be adding?
Well, I will be upgrading my Sabian China because I have a 23-inch China right now.
23-inch
Yeah, 23-inch Minol, medium China. Upgrading my crashes to rides, and then I do have an SLP big black snare, 8x14.
Right on.
I kind of want to upgrade to a Black Beauty, but from what I hear, it's kind of the same. I don't know. So I don't know if I want to spend $800 on a snare yet.
Yeah.
It's definitely not out of the question.
As it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Look, there's things in life that we need. And, priorities, my friend, priorities.
But no, thanks to this guy, basically he said big everything, big drums, big cymbals, 16-inch hi-hats, all that shit. So
Fair enough.
yeah.
Could you
So
pass it
that's
over
mine.
to Jesse here? So this is going to be unique because I've rarely, if ever, talked about anybody with a full setup here. I'd be very interested to hear what you're playing and then all the other effects that you have.
I'll be here all night, dude.
Well, all right. So
I'll try
maybe
and
give me your top 20.
I'll try and give you the Reader's Digest version.
Okay.
It's so that just to kind of sum it up with the organ, like the intent with the organ is for it to be like the Hammond B3 traditional style organ, but to also be, sound design and psychedelic effects, and also to be the second guitar.
Right.
When Mike goes into a solo, I need to be able to provide the rhythm pieces, so it doesn't sound like suddenly the guitar drops out. And so we've kind of designed the rig to fit around those criteria. And right now I'm playing a Studio Logic Pneuma organ. It's the Pneuma 1 through. It's a nice organ. I actually just bought it. Played the first show I've played with it was at Planet Mammoth, actually.
Oh, right on.
One of my pedals died, and I actually used the one of the effects built into the organ to substitute that pedal, and it worked pretty well. But
Cool.
I'm playing through an Orange TH100, Orange 212, PPC 212 closed-back cab, which sounds awesome. I love it.
It does.
And
And that's the thing. It's loud as balls,
212.
and it's rare that I see somebody playing keys on stage that I can actually hear it. And that is one of the beauties. Like, crank that shit up, man. I want to. No offense to everybody else, but I want to hear that. That is what I think.
yeah.
One of the things that makes this band so special is hearing that. And
thank you, man.
it really brings it out. It really fleshes out the sound. It not only fleshes out the guitar, I think it fleshes out the vocal.
Oh, absolutely.
And
yeah. To complement each other. Absolutely. I was just saying, it was just the parts that Jesse writes, which you could definitely talk about. The way he writes his organ parts are complementary. Both the guitar you already talked about, but also to the vocals with key changes and stuff like that. So.
I mean, yeah, I have a little bit of experience with composition and sound design and stuff, so I try and kind of do that and incorporate some of that into the band and see what I can do to use my skill set to kind of help out with that.
He's a jack of all trades. I mean, Jesus.
Pedal wise,
So we got a drum player, yeah,
yeah, play drums,
keyboardist,
Yep.
musical scores,
yeah,
guitar too.
yeah.
Let's break this down. Do you play the fucking banjo?
Not as well as Michael. Not as well as Michael, but I can play a little banjo.
A little bit, just enough to
not-
get you.
Yeah, I can fake it. I can fake it, but
That's
about
right.
it, Yeah.
So that you're like an all around, aren't you? And you're like the quiet storm.
I mean, I guess.
That's it.
Jesse of all trades.
That's what's gonna be.
Jesse of all trades.
I smell a
shit.
shirt coming.
Oh Jesus.
Yes, Jesse of all trades. So, what are you looking forward to getting next?
Well, so I actually just got so Oh man.
What?
Okay, so
Wait, what?
there are a few key pieces to the pedal setup that I have going on. I have two pedal boards. I have one that's down by my feet, obviously traditional style pedal board with, Vox Y. I've got a volume pedal, clean dirty switch,
Right.
Pitch shifting stuff and reverb delay, all that good stuff. But I have a pedal board sitting on top of the keyboard that has like the main piece of gear that makes the sound. It's the Neo ventilator, and it's the original Neo ventilator. And I just bought my third one today because I keep cooking them and they don't make them anymore, so I have to buy them used.
So what's the like? Why are they getting cooked? What is it? Just too much power?
Yeah. I mean, it's not meant to be played how we're using it with this band. It's it was definitely made for like. Hey, I'm gonna play some Doors covers, or hey, I'm gonna play this Santana song, and it's great for that. It works really well, but it also works really, really well in a psychedelic stoner doom band. And
is there any way that could not burn out? Like, are you just like, or it's just like it's inevitable?
It's kind of inevitable at this point. So I just
really,
I haven't,
And there's nothing comparable.
Not at the level of it's. I mean, if you've ever heard a true Hammond B3 being played through a Leslie, this pedal is the closest that you can get to that. So they copied a Leslie 122, and it's a simulation of that. Okay. So it gives you that 3D, that swirling sound and that Doppler effect.
Dude, and that's what I wrote. I wrote that to you. Holy shit.
It was
so accurate.
It's super accurate, and they don't. They make a ventilator 2 that's more reliable, but it's a copy of a copy. They copied the ventilator 1, so you're getting a copy of the Leslie 122, and it just doesn't sound as good.
Any listeners out there, if you have any ventilator 1s around and you like our sound, hit us up. We would like to buy them, or go through 2 or 3 a year. It's going to seem like so.
You might as well hold it. Because we're gonna go to you next. Can I grab that one?
Sure, absolutely.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I know. When we're done, I want to show you a video because I want you to tell me what this guy is playing.
Okay.
I'm a sucker for Joan Osborne. I love her fucking voice. I love the way she sounds. And there is a song that she did a cover of "Shake Your Hips."
Okay.
And if you've never heard it, there is an organ sound in there, and that's the first thing that kind of reminded me of when I heard you. I'm like, yeah, bring that up more, nice. Because it was just. I'll play it for you after. I want you to hear it. I'll definitely put it in the show notes. I'm just a sucker for just that sound. It's that borderline. I would guess it was kind of popular in the 70s and such, or late 60s.
Yeah.
And kind of it changed into the synthesizer then the Moogs and stuff as time grew. But I think it's time to bring that back. So let's talk about your gear.
And I'm also a sucker for curly blonde hair and nose rings. So I feel you.
Yeah. I mean, if God was one of us, seriously. Literally dad jokes.
Yeah.
That song is like from 25 years ago.
So people, hold on to your panties. You're about to hear a bassist rundown of his gear.
Ooh.
Right. I'm playing a jazz bass.
Right.
Playing, I got a couple 810s. Actually, this 810's from late 60s.
No
it's one of the
shit.
first 810s. Yeah, they changed out the speakers, but it's a little lighter. It's been loved, obviously, but not as loud as the newer 2000s 810 that's sitting here.
Right.
And on top of that is the AD200B, the monster bass amp from Orange.
That is gorgeous.
So we have a 3 orange head spread here.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, they all fit very sonically well together. So
I like it.
And all the genes vibrate at a perfect level.
So is there anything you're looking forward to getting for gear?
Yes. Yeah, actually, I need to hit up, what was the local guy that's making cabs? I would love to get a custom cab made.
Which cabinet?
Something
which
that's not 140 pounds would be nice. No, who's the...
Who you...
Source, right?
Oh yeah, Moon Custom.
Moon Customs.
Well, there's Moon Custom out here. Arachnid is another company.
I probably have to
out
reach
here.
out.
Arachnid Cabs. But yeah, reach out to Jonathan. I'm sure he can
That
do
would
something
be
for you.
that would be down the road. Probably the next thing I'm going to get out of the jazz bass and
Right.
probably go to Dunnable. So not sure which one yet though.
All right.
Got eyes
Okay.
on many. They're just so pretty. So, yes, yeah, probably a Yeti. They just started making the Yeti bass, so they were at NAMM. Yeah.
So we'll look forward to seeing that soon.
Yeah, once I
All right.
want to
Now,
drop another couple grand.
Jesse took a step out for a sec, so we might take a break because I want him here when we discuss the tracks. Is that cool? All
Absolutely.
right. We'll take a quick break.
I hit the street to shoot some dice, cruising late on a Saturday night. Saturday night. Stepping out on my own, free-wheeling little bit roads my own. Free-wheeling. 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 Fast cars and getting high, wheels burning and I feel alright, feeling alright. That time I carried on.
All right, so Jesse is back. We've got fresh beers here. Right on. We're rocking some of the Millers, and thank you, Michael. For cheers again. Cheers, gents. Cheers. Right on. We got a Heineken. What do you got there?
Phantom Bride.
What is Phantom Bride? No shit. What is it good? It's very nice. All right, fair enough. I'll stick with this. This is decent. Who has the mic?
I have the mic.
Oh, there you go. Okay. All right. So we're gonna talk about the release that you guys have, and it was a journey. First, before we talk about it, could you pass the mic over to him for just a second? So, I'm gonna guess that maybe it was gonna come out a shade sooner, but we had a little incident. You want to tell me about what happened?
Yeah. Well, there was 2 incidents.
Oh, 2.
The first one was we added a 4th member here, and it made us sound a lot better. So we kind of had to redo some things.
Okay, but he didn't bite you.
He didn't bite me, not yet. He hasn't bit me yet.
Yeah,
but,
he's very timid right now. Yes.
Yeah, he seems nice. I've known him for a while. And I had an incident. My wife and I, we don't have kids. We have dogs, and we rescue dogs. And they tend to be like the dogs no one wants. So some of them have, some problems and stuff like that. They have to go to dog school and this whole thing or whatever. And it's, that's what we do. And one of my dogs is like the best dog I ever had. We had to put him down. He had he was basically like became paralyzed, and we had to put him down. It's really heartbreaking. And we were kind of grieving for our dog, and we decided to get some new dogs because these dogs are just sitting in a shelter, and
Right.
we were going to wait, and we thought, you know what, they're in a shelter right now, they're in a cage, let's go get some dogs, get them out, help them out, go and get these dogs, right? So we get 2 dogs, and they need training. We're training them, taking them for walks, teaching them some things, and one of the dogs is He had a really rough go. They found him in a field. He's skeletal. He's been there for who knows how long. He got picked up by the police, thrown in the police car. They threw him in the pound. They cut his nuts off. This dog is he's had a hard time.
Yeah, that's a hard life. so far,
Hard
yeah.
time, right?
Yeah.
So he's learning. Total sweetheart dog. We take him home. He's loves people. He's a lover, but who knows what he was eating living in the field.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
I mean, birds, cats, I don't know. How did he...
Whatever, he's a scavenger.
Whatever he
got.
could find. So the police found him. He had blood in his mouth because he was eating whatever he could eat to stay alive. So that's the background of this dog. I get these dogs, and we're training them, taking them for walks and this stuff. And there's some not neighbors, but some people that I see regularly walking their dogs off leash.
Right.
Okay, and so I've got a canal behind my house where we walk our dogs, and I've seen them out there. They had their dogs off leash, and I went and talked to them. Super nice people. We had a really nice conversation. I introduced myself. They knew my old dog, and I told them, hey, I've got these new dogs, and I see you guys with your dogs off leash.
Right.
I just want to let you know we got these dogs, and we're just getting to know them, and so if you could just leash your dogs. Right?
Sure.
It's the law.
It is the law.
Keep your dogs on a leash. And if there's anybody listening out there, please leash your dogs. So anyways, we're walking. We run into these very nice, well-meaning people who have 3 dogs, 2 of them off leash, and one just darts right up to my skittish dog that's just still learning that he doesn't need to be afraid of the world, which now he's a total angel. But this dog got in his face, and he went running after it. And long story short, I got in the middle trying to separate these dogs, and there's like 5 dogs there, and it was chaos, and it was crazy. And my left hand, my guitar hand, really both hands, but my left hand got mangled, 33 punctures on my hand. I still have got some permanent damage to my thumb, but thankfully it doesn't affect me playing guitar. I can still play guitar. So,
right.
So fuck yeah. But that slowed us down.
He got the drum tracks. Tracks the day before this happened.
Yes, yeah. So it was my turn.
I mean, not that
guitar.
we'd ever want this to happen, but it couldn't have happened. If it would have happened a week later, we could have worked on the album. We could have, for whatever. It was 6 months later. Yep.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Well,
it
look,
was tragic. It worked out. He's playing guitar again. We didn't know if he was ever going to play again.
That's the scariest shit ever. So let me ask you this quick question.
Sure. Yeah.
I've heard the story. I haven't tried it yet. When dogs are fighting, I've heard there's right. You're supposed to put a finger up their ass.
I tried.
Did you?
I did it.
You did?
I did. I stuck it right in
You tried?
right in the backside.
All right. Okay.
He didn't care.
He didn't care.
No. You know what?
He was he was out in the wild. Who knows what he was doing?
He thought it was food. Yeah.
I don't think a finger in your ass.
Well, not that.
No.
He thought the other dog was food. Yeah. So.
Oh,
yeah.
that. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. No, but
maybe. Well, did he? Okay. So here's the question. So you put a finger in his ass.
Yeah.
Was there like a grin, like a thank you?
Nothing. No, nothing. Didn't like it. Didn't hate it. He was completely neutral.
He was neutral to the idea.
Yeah.
It was a power bottom.
It's
power bottom,
apparently
man.
a power bottom. Yeah.
Wasn't his first rodeo, man.
Yeah. Well, kudos to him for taking it. I mean, no offense. Like, I don't even think I'd take a pinky on my birthday.
Right.
But he's a trooper.
Yeah, man.
He's a trooper and a good dog. What kind of dog?
He's a pit mix.
Yeah.
That's
Big,
mine.
Adorable,
sweetheart, angel.
I got a lab pit, and it's probably one of the best dogs I've ever had in my life.
He is. Yeah, he is.
And they're sweethearts.
Yep.
And for anybody that wants to challenge me, it ain't the fucking breed.
Nope.
So we can talk about that all day. Anybody want to hit us up? We'll talk about it till the end of the earth. It's how it's raised.
Absolutely.
And I'm glad you're okay.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Because
I'm all good.
I was really worried, and I talked to you about that personally. But I'm glad you're on the right road.
Yeah, thanks, man.
So do you mind? Okay, so we got to talk. Now we got to talk about this album here. So Salvian Journey.
Yes.
Okay, is this based? Is the title based off Salvia?
Yeah.
Okay,
It's,
so
Salvia.
Salvia Divinorum.
Yes. Yeah.
Is this is part of the music because of journeys that you have taken with Salvia?
Journey singular. Yes.
Journey singular.
Singular. Yeah.
Okay, because I'll admit, like, gosh, man, going back 20 years, used to be able to get it in any of the head shops,
Sure.
if they still call it that.
It's still legal, right? It's still legal.
So, I went on. Are you familiar with Errowid?
No,
Errowid, Errowid.org. It's a site where you can basically look up anything, any drug, and find out what people's journey has been. And I have seen so many. Yeah, it's one to check out. I'll put it in show notes. Yeah. And some of them were like some people had a good journey. It was 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Some people had they said for a minute I felt like a spike was going through my skull, and then everything opened up and it was like sunshine and rainbows. So if this is about your journey, I'd like to hear it.
Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, that's what it's about. I had this hippie buddy who was like, maybe one of the best musicians I've ever known. As a violin player, fiddle player, and he used to have all this kind of weird artwork at his place, and they were. It was never anything specific. These drawings that he would do, and I asked him one time. I was like, "What are these shapes? These like figures that you draw? They all like look like they're the same thing, but they're not of anything in particular." And he tells me they're fractals. I'm like, well, what the fuck is a fractal? And he tells me this is the kind of stuff that I see when I smoke salvia. And I'm like, salvia what? Like, I didn't know what it was.
Okay.
Anyways, long story short, he says, yeah, I've got some. Do you want to try it? It lasts like 5 minutes and blah, blah, blah. And so I had never tried any psychedelics before, like magic mushrooms or acid or something like that. It's like, I hear you're tripping for like 8 hours or some shit.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I don't
have the time for
I
this
don't
shit.
have time. I don't have 8 hours.
I gotta buy another pedal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, anyways, he tells me it lasts like 5 minutes. So I like piqued my interest. I'm like, okay, well, yeah, I could, 5 minutes, sure. So he gives me some, and I take it home, and I ask my wife. I'm like, hey, do you want to try this salvia stuff?
Right.
And she was super nonchalant about it. She's like, yeah, sure. So
why
like,
not?
I figured she knew what it was about.
All right.
He gave me like the little crash course. Like, this is what you do. Take one hit. Hold it in for as long as you can. That's one of the lyrics. Sit on the ground. All this stuff. So I was ready, and so if anybody's listening, you should really have a babysitter. Have someone that's
Well,
not,
you need a sitter. Yeah, absolutely.
Have
because
someone
you don't
watch
know.
you.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that you should smoke salvia. Maybe smoke salvia. It's cool, but like, don't do it. It's a little crazy. So try it, but maybe don't try it. But my wife, she says, let's just do it at the same time.
Okay, interesting.
So I'm like, okay.
Fair enough.
She seems so nonchalant. I figured she knew what she was doing. I'm like, okay, let's do this. We sit on the ground. We both take one hit. And the fucking, like, the walls of the room that I was in skyrocketed like a mile into the sky.
Cool.
Twisted together and then crunched down onto me. And, like, after that, like, me as a person, like, I didn't exist anymore.
Really?
I was rocketing out into space. I saw the fabric of the universe.
Did you become like a soul? What did you become?
I was nothing. I was just part of like everything. It was
wow.
Like, I know it sounds ridiculous.
No, it doesn't. No, not at all.
So that's where I'm at. I don't exist anymore. I'm part of the fabric of the universe. I can see what everything is made of. It's these vibrating strings, these like fractals that my buddy drew.
Right.
They're like shaking, and to me, it was like all laughter. Mm-hmm. Like everything was like this big positive network of laughing, vibrating strings.
Right.
That's what I experienced.
Okay.
And so I'm there. That's where I'm at.
Right.
And then I hear the most horrifying, blood-curdling scream.
Because your wife...
My wife is fucking freaking out.
Yeah.
So she's screaming bloody murder.
Okay.
It rips me back from where I'm at, right? And I'm like trying to get it together, and I open my eyes, and I turn over, and I look at her, and I reach out to her, and I say, it's okay. It's going to be okay. It's just going to be like another minute.
Right.
She thinks I'm a fucking carpet monster coming out of the ground to kill her.
Oh, okay.
So, if anybody's listening,
don't
try salvia, don't try salvia.
Basically what you're saying,
try it, don't try it.
If anybody's listening, don't sit down on the carpet while you do it.
Yeah. Or, Yeah. Well,
it's
have a babysitter.
Have a sitter.
Yes.
Go through your own trip.
Yeah.
Have you done it? Did you just did it the one time?
Just did it the one time. I would totally be open to trying it again, but your mileage may vary. That's all I'm saying.
I'll be a sitter. I don't mind sitting.
So I did it several times.
Yes, sir. And
it's never enough. So I ended up finding more. The concentration's higher and higher. X.
Sure.
Found myself some 80X and a nice icy bong. Ghost hit it twice. Very fast. The second one, first one, it wasn't very big. Got rid of it. Got another one, and ended up stuck in the wall. Actually, you get stuck somewhere. Like,
Okay.
you get stuck to the ground, to the wall, whatever.
Okay.
I got stuck in the wall
Right.
and behind the blinds during a party,
Okay.
and they thought it was funny, so they put me down to bed,
Sure.
covered me up. They turned off the lights.
Right.
Well, that's when I met the beings.
Oh.
And
Okay.
it's a very, very similar story people have whenever they go on like DMT trips or anything.
Sure. Oh.
You meet the creators, the beings.
Yes. Yes.
So I met the beings, and I was actually one of them. I was one of the 3 beings.
Oh.
And everything around me had been created by myself.
Fantastic.
And it was, probably all about 8 minutes in the room.
Okay.
Seemed like about a year. Came out of that, and for 3 fucking months, I thought that I created everything around me. My wife at the time, friends, were all just a figment of my imagination.
Interesting.
Nice dissociative disorder that I had from that.
Sure.
But let's do it again.
Yeah. I'm.
Of course, I got drunk. I have ADX at home in an unopened vial, and I'm ready to go again. Still
That's
haven't touched it.
So okay. So when you come out, does it just rush out, or is it just like you
you're pretty
slowly
quick.
come back into reality?
No, you're pretty quick out of it. You just kind of wake up. Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
You're good.
Yeah. I went back out into the party that's ensuing and went to the kitchen and
Sure.
made a drink and just
Right.
kind of sat there and kind of looked around at my reality that I created.
And you're.
I was pretty
it's
fucked
like-
up for a few
I
months.
did pretty
yeah.
good. I did pretty good out here. Yeah.
So I've been afraid to touch it again. Sitting there.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So either of you tried? No.
Actually, I'm looking forward to doing that.
Yes.
Either DMT or salvia. I don't know. It sounds awesome, and I'm just curious. So. Oh, thanks.
Well, okay. So is it available in head shops anymore or no?
I don't.
I mean,
I don't know if it's still available.
It used to be legal,
It used to be, but I think it's kind of frowned upon.
drunk at Yucca and went next door.
right?
Bought an 80X at Yucca.
So okay,
Oh.
so yeah, you can go to the head shops and still get it.
Now
maybe.
that I know that, maybe who knows?
Ding, ding, ding.
Head shop next to Yucca if you're not supposed to sell it.
I'm sure they do everything 100% on the up and up. If it ain't supposed to be there, it ain't gonna be there.
It's true.
Because they wouldn't do that, and they want to keep their business.
Yep.
So okay,
So that's Salvian journey.
that's the Salvian journey, and we could talk about the first track. Who has something? The first thing to say about it. The first track is Cave.
Cave. Well, honestly, it's Michael does the majority of the writing. He does the lyrics and all that. So he's pretty much the go-to guy.
Okay, let's pass it over to the guy that's has trouble talking.
Yeah, right.
Right?
This is my nightmare. No, it's fine. This is cool. Cave is a story I read in high school. It's actually like required reading. It might have been for anybody listening out there, and it's The Allegory of the Caves by Plato. And when I read it at the time, it really affected me because it's relevant in so many ways. Like you can interpret it in so many ways, and it was written so long ago to still hold up today and still be relevant today for what's going on in the world. I just thought it was super cool. But I don't. If you're familiar with the story with the cave,
I don't.
The Allegory of the Cave.
I wasn't very much of a reader in high school.
No?
I tried. Catcher in the Rye.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
I got that. The Iliad, the Odyssey. That's
there you
about
go.
where Beowulf, Playboy. High Society. What was it? What was this? Cherry was at that time, I think. Well, yeah, of course. That was back when everything was black and white, and yeah. Continue. It was very classy. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I was a nerd in high school. I read a bunch. Books was a big hobby for me. But this particular story, what it's about 3 prisoners that are shackled in a cave. They can't move. They can't turn their heads. They can't look to the left. They can't look to the right. They can't get up. And they're facing the back wall of the cave. And behind them is a wall. And behind the wall is a big fire. And behind the big fire is everyday life. So
Okay.
city, the people, and they're doing things. And what the prisoners in the cave see are the shadows of what's going on in the world. So they only see the shadow. So if somebody walks by, they see the shadow. If somebody makes a gesture with their hand, they don't see the hand. They only see the shadow. And the point of it was was that perception is reality, so that this is all they ever saw, and so they would accept that as their reality.
Okay.
And that's really the point of the story and the point of the song as well.
And are you're the main lyricist?
Yeah.
And
For now.
what about the musical arrangement?
The arrangement as well, yeah.
Really?
So it starts there, but it, I kind of write the like skeletal structure of the song, and then give it to these guys, and they do their thing with it, and that's how we get the the sound.
Did Cave start as something else and wind up as what's on the release, or it's pretty much the same all the way
Cave
through?
actually was, that one kind of started. So I did the sort of the template for it, and had Jesse come over with his organ and lay down organ tracks to it, and that became pretty close to what the final version is. But
Right.
the way I lay down scratch tracks, like vocal tracks, is much different than Mike's a phenomenal singer and I'm not. So when he sings, it sounds better.
Yes. He sounds wonderful. Anybody else have anything to add to that, or no?
I mean, that's kind of the consensus of all the songs. All the songs are made that way. I mean, whenever the next song on the list here, which is the last ones,
What do we? No, we got Salvi and Journey.
Seven Journeys.
Yeah.
That's number 3. We're not in order.
Unless I don't know. I'm just. We can go with everyone.
You were on 1 and now 2. Okay.
Yeah.
So the next one, we'll wait for the story on the last ones then.
Okay.
So Salvi and Journey.
Yeah.
We already talked about. And Cave.
Okay. No, but is there anything else that you had? Oh, so the song Salvi and Journey is basically of that trip.
That was it. Yeah.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So and if you read it, it's like the lyrics are not like there's no creative analogies in there or anything. It's just literally what happened. I just wrote verbatim, this is what happened, and that's there's no like clever trick to it. It's just the story of the time my wife and I tried salvia, and I saw the fabric of the universe, and she thought I was made of carpet and coming to kill her. So,
So, do you think she'll ever try it again?
Probably.
Yeah.
I think so.
Now,
She's a brave lady.
I would love. You know what I would love to see, because she does photography, right?
She does photography, yes.
I would love to see if she could do it, take pictures, and see if she could write down what she thought the picture was, and then see what pictures she took once she was done with the trip. Because I'm sure it would be massively different. Like,
I'll suggest it. Yeah.
yeah, try to recreate what you saw. Yeah, like I know some people that have tripped on acid, and then that's how they draw. That's how they illustrate.
Yeah, it's some really cool stuff.
And it's some
yeah.
really interesting stuff that, and I don't know what it is. I don't know what's going on in the head, and that's way beyond my comprehension. But every once in a while, you go out and like even if you go to a show, has it ever happened? Like you get so transfixed, like. Everything else is gone. You almost can't hear the band anymore.
Yeah,
because you're vibing out so hard, and you're not. There's not a drug in you. It's just
Absolutely.
the pure sounds.
Yep.
And that is like such a magical moment. I've had it when powerlifting back in the day where I couldn't even hear a sound, or seeing people on stage just like completely vibing out. And I mean, it's just such a magical experience to go see something live. That it's mini soapbox time, where if you haven't had the chance and you're not too sure about it, just get out, everybody, go see a live show. It really does transform, and I'm sure the bands love it to see new faces all the time.
Absolutely,
but get out to see a show. So so that's Salvi and Journey. So now we can go to the last one. Should I pass the mic to you or? Oh.
Yeah, so the last ones, I was playing in a band.
Playing in a bong? Wow.
Yeah.
It was kind of smoky in there, and like a smoke-filled room.
It was delicious. So I was playing the band with Bogdan, with Wade. Excuse me. You can edit that out post-hand. Yeah.
The drummer.
Yeah, the drummer.
Yeah.
I was playing after O. Henry, after the folk band. Took a quick hiatus and hate it.
Why don't you tell the story? Like, it was so weird because, like, somehow. So,
Yeah.
I haven't talked to Mike in, at that time, probably 3-4 years. something like that.
Yeah, because you weren't in O'Henry.
Yeah, so
he filled in several times.
I started out like you asked me to play in O'Henry, and I did 2 practices, and then but at the time I was living in Tucson, and I could not do the drive to Tempe like for all the practices and stuff. And I'm like, you know what, I can't do this. Loved O'Henry, like, you know, they did great things, but eventually like we just kind of lost touch. I don't know what happened. Some things went down. Like we had our own different paths. I moved back to Phoenix.
And I was living in Tempe, and I moved to Ahwatukee.
Yep.
I was on the road.
On purpose?
Oh, I was on
Hey,
the
man,
road.
I live there. What the hell's wrong with Ahwatukee?
I don't know.
I was living in a van on the road, literally, and I was a construction superintendent on the road, living in a van. Right. And my wife, she had to go find a place while I was on the road, and I couldn't help her find a place. She chose Ahwatukee. Yep. And
one day I'm on
phone,
Facebook, and then he puts this fucking cell phone on the Ahwatukee fucking whatever 411 or whatever Facebook selling site, and I hit him up. I'm like, why are you selling shit in Ahwatukee? He's like, I live in Ahwatukee. This motherfucker is literally 5 minutes away from me. So we reconnect. We go to the fucking bar.
Start drinking
as
way
we do.
too much, and
then
hey, we should get the band back together.
And at the time, unfortunately, yes, I sold a drum set, and I kind of gave up on music
But I had one.
Yes, so
I had one.
It wasn't the fact that I didn't want to play music. I didn't have anybody to play with because my best friend here of 20 plus fucking years. I kept hitting him up to do music, and it never happened. I'm too busy, which I get. We get older, we get busier, whatever. So Mike Hintz over here hits me up. I'm like, let's start a band. I don't have a drum set. Well, lucky enough, I have one in my fucking goddamn closet. Sweet. We started jamming on some shit.
We brought in a mutual close friend,
a close
Matt,
friend of ours from high school.
Amazing bassist
from O'Henry as well.
I was playing guitar and singing, and I remember I was working for a construction company, and we didn't have work going at the time, so they had me pressure washing covered parking, all the rat shit and pigeon shit out of covered parking. Bogdan hits me up and he says, "Hey, Fornwalt wants to start a band. Do you want to be in it? He's cool with you singing." He sent me the song. I'm listening to it while I'm pressure washing. And I go into like some like storage closet to hide, and I call him like, yeah. Yes. That was
this
the last
for real?
ones.
Is this happening?
That was the last ones. He recorded it on his own. Yeah, that's for real.
It was fucking crazy because like I've been wanting to jam with fucking Michael for a long time. Like we hadn't jammed in like 7 years at the time.
Jeez.
So at one point we were meeting up with Matt, as Mike mentioned, and it's like he wanted to do a jam session at his house, and then we all three we just jammed, and I talk about like fucking trippy experiences. I had like kind of an out of body kind of thing. Like I just closed my eyes and then whatever went out there and just let the music flow. And then him and I just have like we've been playing since we were 14, 15. Like him and I just have this connection that we know when to change. We know like what comes next. Like we just have this like telepathic kind of like connection. And we literally jammed out on like a 20-minute fucking jam session. And like I almost had like an out of body experience.
Wow.
And I remember going to meeting some friends at fucking Casey Moore's, and everyone's like, "Oh, how did it go? How'd it go? You're jamming with your friend again." I'm like, I got to make a fucking band. Like this is too good to not do a goddamn band. And then like 4 months later, he finally shows me the last ones, and I think I texted you. I'm like, "Fuck you, man." Like, fuck you. Like why? Like you're writing this kind of shit and you're not sharing with this with me earlier. Right. So yeah, he shared it with me, and then we're talking about like, hey, let's do a fucking band. Who we're gonna have to sing? Well, fucking Mike Hintz sings, and does he want to do it? Does he not want to do it? I'm like, listen, send him the fucking song, and go from there. And then he loved it. We loved it. Then we try to record an EP, and then Jesse comes in the picture and like, hey, organ's awesome, and here we are.
Wow. That's fucking it's just so cool because there's some other people in the area that kind of have similar stories, like OFA. They have
We
been around,
love those guys.
and they've been around for at least a decade in
probably longer.
in various other,
Incarnations.
Yeah, incarnations. Like if you go on YouTube, you'll see some old material.
Oh, I definitely
Totally
looked that
different.
shit up.
Yeah. Oh, did you see him? You see Kyle
Little
with the
babies,
short hair
Oh yeah.
at Joe's Grotto.
Oh yeah.
From the day we moved in to this jam pad, they've been our brother band. Like the second we moved in, they welcomed us with open arms.
He put in a good word for us to play that Elder Show.
Oh,
Really?
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Elder's one of my favorite bands. Elder's one of my favorite bands, by the way, and Derek from OFA put in a good word for us to play that show, and that's part of why we got that show. So he kind of kicked us
owe
off.
them a lot.
Yeah, we fucking love
so
those
they're
guys, dude.
they will
They're playing.
our EP release
With the release
yes.
show. We'll get to that in a sec. I just want to go over the last track. I am a...
Locust.
Yes. Well, okay. Were you also a hand in the...
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm noticing something.
Yeah. Yeah, I am Locust, and I think that's probably maybe our kind of grooviest track, I guess, maybe.
Did you plan the opening piece like as, I know it sounds silly, but like maybe like a flight of a locust?
Yeah, it's kind of so like the whole song is kind of inspired by that. The tone for the guitar, again, octave fuzz, which I've talked about. Always to me, like if you're trying to describe what does octave fuzz sound like, on its own, but then what does octave fuzz sound like when it's played through like a 200 watt full stack. It sounds like to me it sounds like a descending swarm of locusts. Like it's just this buzzing, disgusting sound. So that's the tone for the guitar on that track, and that song, what as far as what it's about is really just about kind of making changes in your life and then finding that you sort of end up back right where you were, for better or worse. So
Right.
there's kind of like a main lyric in that song. It's not like the chorus or anything like that. It's just sort of buried in a verse. But I am a locust, I shed my skin. It always comes back the same way it was again. So it's that's kind of in a nutshell what that piece is about.
Do you feel that you've had that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
This band being one of those things that I've gone through these cycles with music or not playing music, which is, if anybody out there is a player and you're not playing, just go fucking play. Call your buddies, get on Craigslist, do something, go play. It's been really good. But yeah, it's definitely something that I've noticed. The sort of cycles in my life,
Right.
coming back to certain things that are good for me, and playing music's one of them. So.
And it's too short. We're only here so long.
Totally.
And it's such a unique thing when I talk to you guys individually or as a group, outside of here, and just to hear, because we've talked so many times and hung out, just shot the shit. Now I get kind of nervous. Okay, when the
Sure.
recording button goes, it's like, well, shit. I actually literally I have nothing written down. I have nothing to say, but we have everything to say, because I finally get to hear the story of everybody, and I'm very grateful to hear that, and I'm really grateful that you guys found each other.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
you all sound so unbelievably passionate about music, and it doesn't matter what genre it is, but you're just passionate, and I love to see that. Like when you said you see the guy with the death metal shirt, you got a common bond, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like I've gone through the airport wearing a Doom shirt of some kind, and they're like, "Hey, I've seen them." And I'm like, that's awesome, and it's just like it's just like the little eye to eye thing. You're like, yeah.
Instantly something in
Yeah, the
common.
nod.
You're
Yeah, like, hey,
cut
what's
from the
up?
same cloth. Yeah.
Yeah. And that is cool as hell. So you got the upcoming release party coming up
Fuck yeah.
at Club Red. Now we're looking to pack this place, right?
Absolutely.
All right.
You gotta go to hovenweep.bigcartel.com.
Ooh.
Buy some tickets for this thing.
Right on.
The release, actually, right now, if everybody can go to Hatchet.bandcamp.com.
Yes.
And do some pre-ordering. That would help us out so much. Yeah, you get a free hat. The first 10 people, which we're really close to right now.
Right.
It got released like we posted it like 5 hours ago.
By the time
So
the time this heads out, they'll be gone.
The first 10 people got our new trucker
Jesus,
hat
yeah.
for free.
Yeah.
Got our new trucker hat for free, which it's awesome.
Fantastic.
Yeah. If we do say so ourselves.
All right, I do have a question, and this is like totally off topic from music. So you've got this this sticker, you know, the white one that you know what is that called? Like a decal kind of thing?
Yeah, just a cutout. Yeah.
Cut out, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I tried to peel it, and I feel like it's coming. Like, should I use a hairdryer?
No, like really, really press it on there.
Right.
Keep pressing it on there and then slowly peel and then keep pressing it.
What did you put it on, Chris?
I didn't put it on anything yet. It's still on the backing because I'll tell you what
when you start peeling, it's hard to get off.
Yeah.
It's tricky. It's tricky.
I saw it, but I didn't pay attention to it.
They're almost all like that.
Okay.
Even commercial stickers and construction.
Yeah, Stonewich has the same thing.
Yeah. Yep.
So what I do is I go to Walmart because I'm classy, and I get a poster board.
Yeah.
And when I go to a show, I'll grab a sticker, and I put it on the poster board. Once that poster board is full, I put it on the wall. So it just kind of it's kind of like that's my year in review. That's my year in review.
Yeah.
And I got my Hovenweep. I got my spot for because it's just gonna finish it out with Year of the Cobra and probably the Well sticker.
Well, that means we got to get some new stickers for Chris's poster boards, huh?
Yeah, we need that.
Right.
That's very important.
Absolutely.
Now, you also had I was on the Big Cartel page. You have the El Camino shirt, but you also have this other shirt that blows my mind, man, because it's something so unique that it's a one color print, but when you are in certain light, it changes
no idea
color.
how that happened. We have no idea. Okay, it's David Paul Seymour.
Yeah.
Has done both of our shirts.
Right.
He is a legend. We work with him. We have Mike again, idea man. He has an idea. We talk. We work with David, and he draws us up. Well, we thought we just do one solid color because I think it was a solid color that he drew. We saw this is the design that we saw it. We knew we had to have it. It's something he had. He already did it.
Right.
Yeah. So we got the one color, and we went through a bunch of different colors and decided on a green. And our great friend Tom Marcho, who does our lighting at all of our shows, he has noticed that in this lighting that he prides himself in and should, he's amazing at it. That the shirt glows in multiple colors. It's crazy. So if you buy this green shirt,
Yeah.
yeah,
Are you going to put that on the Big Cartel page?
We need more pictures. I did just edit. Oh, you did? All right, awesome.
Well, there we go.
Fantastic.
It's up there. We haven't really launched it, but I just put it on the page. We haven't really announced it or launched it, but it's up there. If anybody wants to check it out,
the
it's
new
there.
shirt's up.
And
huh?
I do want to shout out Joe at Goodfellas, because
Yes.
if anybody made a secret glow-in-the-dark UV light shit happen on this one color shirt, it's fucking Joe at Goodfellas.
Hey, by the way, Joe, another high school friend.
Yeah, way back. Yeah,
We've known him since high school, too.
Our
It's
first
great.
band, our first show actually was at his house party.
It was
Yeah, so we
Really?
were, probably 14, whatever, Hatework, I know, bringing it back. But he decided to have a house party with some other high school friends, and then his band. His parents had an awesome house with a huge backyard, and then he asked us to play his backyard party, and
Right.
I mean, goddamn, that was nerve-wracking as shit.
but
It was like Union Hills and between 75th and 83rd or whatever. Yeah.
and his shop now, we knew him back when he was piercing and doing punk rock screen printing in the back. Yeah, he did all the if you know the format, they're from out here. I grew up 2 houses down from that guy, Nate Rouge, the singer of the format. But he would do these. Joe from Goodfellas had this little piercing shop, and in the back he'd do these punk rock screen printing shirts. And now you go down to his shop, and it's this giant fucking warehouse they can do everything. It's amazing. It's super cool. They have all these amazing bands that they've worked with, and they've got the shirts up on the wall. But so if anybody's looking to get screen printing or shirts made, patches, trucker hats, I mean, this guy does literally everything. He's been super good to us. He does incredibly high quality work. Just check out Goodfellas. Yeah, it's super quick turnaround as well. Good price.
Very
good
important.
Goodfellas.
Goodfellas.
And
Yes, sir.
I always buy whatever a band is headlining. I buy their shirt. And
Right.
I try to wear it on stage the next time I play.
Yeah.
I got a lot of shirts. And,
It becomes a lot.
and Joe's shirts are the top of the top notch. They,
Right.
you know, if it wasn't so faux pas to wear your own band shirt, I wouldn't wear it other than just around the house.
No.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a negative. Yes.
But so I need people to go to Joe's shop so I get more shirts I love to wear, you know, other than being looking cool.
Maybe we can get something other than black eventually.
No,
Like purple, because you're.
you can get any color.
You
as
are
long as
purple
it's
man.
black.
Baseball tees.
Oh, so I got one other thing. Or I got a few other questions quickly. Hovenweep.
Meeting.
Yeah, I mean, I know I've
This guy.
I Wikipedia'd
So-
it, and I looked at it, and I completely forgot about it.
Yeah.
Remind me, please.
So we were looking for something. Mike wanted something different, and
Right.
their original thought, I think Wade, you came up with absence of petrichor.
What?
Petrichor or petrichor,
Whoa,
one or the other.
whoa, wait, okay.
Which petrichor or petrichor is like the smell of rain.
Okay.
So Arizona, whatever. It was really way too much. So thankfully,
It's a lot.
Thankfully, the next day, I think like the U.S. Parks and Rec something
Okay.
posted something on Facebook
Okay.
as like a little ad thing, and I saw the word Hovenweep, and I looked
Right.
it up, and the word Hovenweep is a Paiute word that means deserted valley. Which I actually went through recently. My wife and I went through on our honeymoon up to Yellowstone and went through all that. It's beautiful up there. We just thought that was a really, really good, I guess name moniker for this. Yeah.
It's a cool name.
Yeah.
I like the way it feels, what it means.
Right.
It's cool. I mean, we're from the valley. From the
And it's a
base.
great place to take a Salvian journey.
Absolutely.
With a sitter, of course.
Absolutely. Spirit journey. Yeah.
Oh.
A witch doctor.
Yes, a shaman of sorts. So, okay, for bands that are coming through this area, late night, they get done late, usually. Where do they go for some good food after a show?
So
Tempe, Mesa, Phoenix.
mellow mushroom's not bad. So
Yeah.
Mellow mushroom, good pizza.
Fair
AP
enough.
place. Always good food. Open up till about 1, I think. The kitchen's open till 1.
Which one is this?
Mellow mushroom.
You want something close.
Yeah.
Something-
Yucca Tap Room. Yucca Tap
Tap.
Room. There. Okay, so Tim and his fucking bows and his goddamn tacos, delicious.
They have hot chicken.
Have you? Oh,
I have
wait,
not
yeah.
had that.
So
I haven't had that.
Maybe we should go next Thursday
Ooh.
because they got to do the bourbon. That spicy chicken is
Bourbon
the fucking
spicy chicken?
bomb. It is just hysterically good. It's awesome. You got to check it out. It's really good.
Absolutely.
You go ahead.
Good. Not only one of the coolest venues, they have an actual good menu. As
Dude,
well.
and they have fucking pinball machines, god damn it.
Yeah, and they just expanded twice as big, and a tiki bar hidden back there behind the pinball machines.
Fucking A.
What the fuck?
No, I'm excited because look, I'm an 80s video game guy, and I saw something in the private room. There is a private room. I'm not going to talk about it. But well,
Wait, listen.
we
didn't throw Planet Mammoth, so we can't.
so and they have got some stuff that they have not put out yet. There's some stuff over there, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they got next. I can't wait. I'm hoping. I mean, personally, I'm hoping for a Mr. Do. Even a Dig Dug. I'm not choosy, but I just want a few more 80s arcade games. Just something for the old man to play. You know, I don't need no, 90 million whatever graphics, and just give me some 8-bit shit, and I'll be. there's a lot going on in that place. I swear he's gonna own the whole fucking strip someday, or if he doesn't already, I don't even know. But it's such a great spot. I love playing at Yucca. So is there any? Okay, I know. Wait, the drummer. Yeah, he went out for a sec. But let me ask you, and then I'll ask Wade if he has something different. What are your plans? So you're going to do this release. Then what? What's for the rest of 2020?
We're actually in the writing process right now, coming up with new ideas for songs. We've got a handful of things that we're working on, forming into songs that will be on the next record, and we're looking at doing a full length.
Right.
Yeah, so that will be in the works as pretty much right away as soon as this is launched. The lead up to this show and to this release has been a lot of work to get there, and it's definitely a labor of love. We're really excited for people to hear it, and just really hope that they enjoy it, and we definitely enjoy it, and we worked very hard to make something that we could all be proud of, and I think that's what we set out to accomplish, that specific goal, and we're definitely proud of it.
We're not gonna give it another year and a half. It's gonna be
no dog
right
fights.
Away.
No new members.
Asses and fucking elbows to get this next full length out. It's happening.
Do you think that for this release party you might debut something new, some new material?
Yes.
Really?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yes. No.
Wait, what?
No. Some surprises.
Surprises.
How about
that's
that?
all. That's all I'm asking for. I just want to taste.
Yeah.
Just give me a little hint, a little taste. Not right now, of course. We'll do it off mic. But I really appreciate your time, guys. Do you have any question, or just 1, 4, whatever you get 4, you here? Do you have a question to ask the next band I interview? And I keep saying this. I shit the bed every time on this because I say it. I have a log full of interviews. I try to remember. I forget all the time. I drop this for a while. I try to bring it back. So somebody's going to get like 10 questions, basically. And that's all I have to. I don't have to write a damn thing. So does anybody have a question that you might want to ask the next band? Oh, I know what somebody asked. I got it. It was John from near the Cobra. Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Yes. No.
Yes. I'm almost always no, except for mellow mushrooms.
Yeah.
What is it? It's the no. They have another one. It's the local Arizona one. It's pretty good. But other than that, it's almost always no. So we're almost split. We're almost a split band.
I like a little sweet sometimes on the pizza, that's just, hey, you know what? Fuck you guys. That's just me.
It's the Maui Wowie.
That is the Maui Wowie.
Maui Wowie. That's right.
You get the little salty with the little sweet. I'm also the weird guy that fucking eats cookies and drinks beer at the same time. I like sweet and bitter. Like, I'm fucking weird, so whatever. Fuck you guys.
I don't see a problem with it. Now, here's what I'm going to say. Because if, this is an ongoing issue in the house. But, my wife is obviously a no on the pineapple business. So she loves you. You too. Him not, I'm not so sure. But, but I'm thinking maybe, because you like sweet, right? What about a pizza with candied bacon? Yeah, you'd be down for that.
Meat candy? Meat candy.
It's meat candy.
Yeah. Oh, meat candy is the way to go.
That's all it is. So, do any of you have a question for the next band?
How about crap beer or craft beer?
Interesting. Good choice. Haven't heard that one yet. And does anybody have any others? Or Jess. Yes, the Quiet Storm.
How do you like your eggs?
I'm more of a beer or liquor.
Okay.
Mine's always what's on the board.
What's on the board? Fair enough. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. I can't wait to see this release. I am going to go home and pre-order. Yes. I haven't done it yet because I was too high last night and I was ordering other shit. But now that I know that it's live, so everybody, I know this is going to get out a little later, but please order this. If you don't get a chance, at least check it out on Bandcamp. These tracks fucking rage, and it's rare that you see something from a fresh band, basically. I mean, guys have been around for a long time as friends and etc. But this is a fresh project, and I can't say enough good about it. When you hear it, you'll know why. So head over to Bandcamp, check it out. Link's going to be in the show notes. Gentlemen, thank you so much. Can't wait to see you. Thanks to the guys in Hovenweep. Really appreciate them taking their time. We did it at the practice space, had some beers, and had a great, great time. Let's hear the title track of their latest release. This is Salvian Journey. doomtombpodcast at gmail.com. That is how to reach us. Doomtombpodcast on social media as well. Not posting up a whole bunch of videos from shows because I'm not going to any like everybody else. But, I'm going to post up some albums that I've bought over the past few months. Just getting some content out there. You know how it is. All right, everybody. Until next time, meantime, and in between time, enjoy yourselves. Stay safe. Stay home, I guess. I don't know. It's all up to you. I guess we should err on the side of caution, though. It's crazy out there. So stay well, brothers and sisters. And until next time, don't forget to stay heavy.